This is Too Many Words with Jayme Bedingfield. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the listens and the support. And if you haven't already, you can visit the show on iTunes and let me know what you think. You can reach out to me on Twitter at either me Bedingfield or Too Many Words Pod. And yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you think. I have Kevin Kelly on the show in a little bit. He is a booktuber. He has a YouTube channel called The Irish Reader. And we originally crossed paths when he did a review of The Highly Capable. Probably my favorite review of The Highly Capable was his. So I am looking forward to chatting with him and sharing it with you. So yeah, good stuff. How is it going? um, oh, a shout out to Marco, who works at Hidden Hand Tattoo. The hobbit hole in the clouds on my arm is awesome. It rocks, and I can't wait to add more to it. How is it going? What are you thinking? What is the reader thinking? This is something I ask myself a lot, especially during a content edit. I am currently knee deep in one, as you've heard, and combing through everything with a fine-tooth comb before I hand it back over. I used to dread and fear this stage. Now I count down the days until I get there. I don't like riding in actual roller coasters. I don't have the stomach for it. But novel-induced roller coasters, that's something I ride with glee these days. We have all heard the saying, ride the waves. It's easier to lean into a system of water instead of fighting against it. Swimming in an ocean has similarities that leave breadcrumbs that could lead to writing a book. As a child, I spent my summers swimming in the ocean. The best part about living in North Jersey is being a little over an hour away from a pretty awesome beach. The food is another choice part about North Jersey. It's crazy to think how different it is to where I live now in Seattle. I've been out here for close to uh, 11, 10 years now, maybe 9, which feels quite nuts. You know, the setting in my recent story in Jersey has been fun and, a way to visit, I suppose. I used up endless hours trying to swim against the current. And in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm doing that now as I build my writing career. There is no path laid out. I need to carve that out for myself. I can get the sense of the grooves in the land as I traverse the uneven and unknown landscape. And there are moments I find myself craving direction and proof that I'm on the right course. Eventually, I find that I can see that if I look in the right places. I'm not quite sure I could survive without music, and I realize this is a pretty dramatic um, and theatrical sentence, but I really can't do anything without it. I mean, I suppose technically I can, but I don't care for it. Some people collect vinyl or CDs. I collect moods and playlists. Music became a big part of my life around middle school. Listening to angst while I felt so angsty was everything. And music alongside books are my tunnels to other worlds and aspects of my life. And I'm currently working on 2 different YA contemporary projects. One, of course, is Elliot Granger, and the other, a novel I've had on my plate for over a year. It's, in the process of transforming into something others can read. And I've been talking to you guys a lot about this project. And, my world's, kind of small and totally centered around it right now. That's the deal. I quickly found that it was a lot trickier for my mind to jump from one contemporary to another than it was for me to hop between a contemporary and a fantasy project. Um, yeah, this is the first time I've had to juggle two of the same genre. Um, Honestly, without my playlists, I don't know how it would be possible. The themes and characters of both are different. There are similarities because humans and growing up, but having completely different music selections to listen to while writing each one has made jumping around so easy. It took me a second to figure out how to handle the switch, but like everything else, music sets my mood. Therefore, it all fell into place once I got my songs together. Sometimes I need to walk away from my computer, my notebook, or whatever to get, that needed epiphany. And I'll listen to the music while I do the other things, and it's quite essential for backtracking ideas, and that's how I get some of my best ideas. The worlds we have to build in order to create. I wish I could ask J.R.R. Tolkien what it felt like to write the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Creating the Shire must have been an amazing experience. You know, things get busy and unplugging is just so key. I've been, I told you last week, I boosted my undead character in WoW, and I need to, I basically just need to get better before I can gear up, before I can raid. Learning different combinations and stuff. But like just the pure act of focusing on like which power works better than the other one is just it's such a great mind release. I was watching a video on comicbook.com of Elizabeth Olsen. She's the actress who played Scarlet Witch. She's talking about the Scarlet Witch's history, and I want to get my hands on all of those books in the storyline over the course of, you know, lots of over the course of several decades, and just read them in a few sittings. Uh, yeah, that just sounds like fun. So that's on my fun list, and also I've been, reading all the happenings and news about the Gilmore Girl episodes that are going to be new and for Netflix, and it's making me want to do the Rory Gilmore challenge again, or at least finish it. It's if you go on Goodreads, there's a list of all the books that the character Rory has read. And if you're not familiar with the Gilmore Girls, go to Netflix and watch it because it's like one of the best television shows ever. But yeah, so I've read a lot of the books on that list, but there's some I know that I haven't read yet, and I want to read those and reread others. There's some that are due for a reread. There's certain books that are just like they're so important and just key pieces of art and literature and history and society that they need to be revisited. Um, the season finale of the season 3 finale of the 100 is this Thursday, and I'm nervous. Um, but I have a plan. After it's over, I am going to um, I am going to go back and watch the very first one and then rewatch them all. So much changes in like the world and all the characters that it's going to be fun to go back and see if I can pick up things I didn't before because of what I know now and didn't know before. So, yes, fun plans. Fun. To go back to the Rory Gilmore challenge, Fahrenheit 451 is one of those books on the list that I've read, but I need to reread it. I've been actually thinking about it a lot, and sometimes I look at my living room and I see nothing but a room full of screens, and I think of the book. And I've been wanting to revisit it, and I've caught wind lately of just a lot of different articles about how technology has impacted relationships, both negatively and positively. Um, and I've just finished the first draft of a short story that takes place in a fictional future, and the difference in personal relationships because of the advance in technology, inspired it in ways, I suppose. I'm excited to pick that up and edit it in a few weeks. I've uh, I've got to send these revisions for Not Without Sunshine where they need to go first. So that everything is just building and it's nuts, and I'm excited and I'm nervous and concerned. I'm currently working on doing this one thing and reaching out to a couple people for the show actually, and I'm nervous. It's that queasy stomach nervous, and this is a feeling I really love. And I think having this feeling, it's just important. It's important to do things that cause this feeling. Um, you know what I mean. At least, you know, I'm gonna say you do. If you don't, let me know you disagree with me. Well, okay. Well, okay. I think it's time to bring Kevin Kelly onto the show. What do you think? Yeah? Good. After this note, then. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
I was telling the listeners that you're a booktuber and that you have a YouTube channel called The Irish Reader, and that's how we cross paths because you did a review of The Highly Capable, and that was my first introduction really into the book culture on YouTube, and it's totally awesome. how how did you end up starting a show on YouTube where you talked about the different books, and it's a huge community.
So basically, like 2 years ago, I really started to like pick up my reading and reading a lot more than I used to. So I used to only just read like books that were getting turned into like movies. So I'd read the book before I seen the movie. And basically, then I just like discovered that on YouTube that someone done a review. I think it was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare,
Okay.
and I discovered then that people were making videos about these books. And then so I started watching more videos and I realized that there's way more books that aren't getting turned into movies that I'm missing out on and not reading. And so from that I just decided that I needed to read more books, and just got more invested in the book culture, I suppose. And then when I turned 18, I got a camera and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go and try it. And that's basically what it is, and I'm still doing it now.
That's awesome. I really enjoy your show. It's super. You do a really good job, like just basically being friendly, for a lack of better word to describe that. Because like the way you go on about different books, or I was watching your bookmark video earlier. It's just fun. It's fun. Were you like nervous in the beginning, or like I know like I'm 10 episodes in right now. It's for too many words, and I still get nervous before I do it. But is that just like is that part of it, or is it not part of it for you?
Definitely when I first started making my video, I was really nervous because like you're sitting there talking to a camera, so you're practically talking to yourself.
Yeah.
And but as you gradually start making more videos and you start actually getting viewers and they're commenting, then you just feel like you're talking to them.
Hmm.
So it's not like you're talking to yourself, even though you basically are, but it just feels like you're talking to your viewers. So it doesn't feel like as weird or lonely anymore. And I don't know, like as like just started getting more into it, and that like the nerves went, my personality came out. I'm not as shy in front of the camera anymore. I'm more expressive and stuff. Like if you watch one of my very first videos, it's like the most awkward thing you will ever watch in your entire life. I hate it so much, but I have it up just because people can just laugh at it. But yeah, it definitely gets a lot easier, and especially when you have more people like commenting, so you just feel like you're talking to them and someone actually wants to listen to what you say.
I mean, right now I'm talking to you, but I do a part where I record just kind of talking to myself basically, but just what I'm working on and all that stuff. And yeah, there's moments, especially like after a long day of just like writing, writing, and then I'll record and it's like, okay, things have gotten kind of weird, but, no, it's fun. It's a good outlet I find for like interests and other stuff too. Just kind of, and you do 2 videos a week, right?
Yeah, 2 days a week, Sundays and Wednesdays.
So I was watching your video and you did your April wrap up and you included "I'll Give You the Sun," and that's one of my favorite books. I'm a huge fan of Jandy Nelson's. So I know that my book manager had contacted you and requested a review for The Highly Capable. Is that something that you get a lot, um, like review requests or any kind of crazy requests?
Well, I used to like never get them, but as I started like getting like like bigger or just more subscribers and stuff, I did start getting more contacted for reviews. And like recently, I've gotten like a lot more emails and a lot more requests. I actually have like 5 books I need to do reviews for that were requested of me. So I'm really like appreciated when someone contacts me, but then I just feel like pressured to try get the video out. But I managed to do it somehow, and I really, really enjoy it. And I love when someone contacts me because it just shows that they're like really interested in me to read their book. And it's like I don't know, it's like really rewarding, or just I think it's like an honor because someone's like that appreciated. They like how you review or something, and they're just interested to see how you will do it for their book. And I find it really honoring and stuff when someone contacts me.
Well, I have to say that the review you did of The Highly Capable was one of my favorite reviews that I received. I mean, when I spend all this time, putting a story together, I try and think about the reader and stuff. And every point that came out and talked about is like basically what my hope would be.
Yeah.
So I was, yeah, your review was one of my favorite. It was really great.
Oh, thank you.
And you do, I know that you do a lot with Goodreads and the show. Is that?
Yeah, because like whenever I um read a book, or I'll just like update my progress on Goodreads so people know how far into a book I am, or how I'm liking it so far, that kind of stuff. And then like with Goodreads, I also have like a book club set up. So like I do like a monthly read along with like a few of my other YouTube book friends, and we do like a live show. We like discuss that book. And yeah, I think Goodreads, if you have like a booktube channel, or if you just read books, it's like basically a Facebook just for books, if you know what I mean. Because you can basically just update your status on how you're reading, and then people can like on it, comment on it, and I just think it's a really, really good social media for when you're doing books.
It's great to get recommendations too. Like that's one thing I wish when I was in high school that the internet was what it was now, because as far as like you read a book, I spent most of I still do my nose in a book. And now that you have Goodreads and YouTube and all these other things, it's just a great way to basically share what you're interested in.
Yeah, well, like exactly, because like you'll just get like with the recommendations as well. Like you mightn't have ever thought of it or heard of a certain book, and then just because you read another book, it will just be like you might like this, and then you end up reading it and you realize I do like that. So I like that kind of part of it as well.
Yeah, it makes like the whole world like bigger. Like I had no idea what the UK cover of Paper Towns looked like, and I'm totally jealous because it's awesome.
Yeah,
The clouds, it suits the story. Like it adds like it shows the whimsy in the story that the pin in the map doesn't really.
yeah.
So I might have to figure out how to acquire that because I need that in my collection. I actually I'm working on a tattoo sleeve, and I'm have a lot with clouds. So the paper towns with the clouds is just awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really cool cover. I really prefer that one over the US one.
Yeah, no, totally, me too. Now I'm like curious as to like what else I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
And I just subscribed to the monthly service Bookish Box, and I'm going to get my first one in June. I don't know if you know what that is or not.
I could know what it is. I watch a lot of people do book unboxings, but there's just so many I actually forget names.
Well,
So
I think there is a whole bunch of different. So it's like basically a different theme every month, and you've got like a mug and some stickers and bookmark and like a book themed T-shirt and some trinkets and stuff based on like there was a Harry Potter box um, like 2 months ago, and that's when I saw somebody sharing it. I'm like, okay, I need to get in on this. But,
yeah, no, I think I may have seen someone unbox one of them before.
and you do Pop of the Month, right?
Yeah, pop in the box. Yeah,
Those are super fun.
yeah, that's like my favorite videos to film, just because you don't know what Funko Pop it's going to be, so it's kind of like it's nearly like Christmas, but you bought it for yourself. So it's because you just don't know what's in it, and then when you open it and you see what it is, it's just kind of like a little rush. I don't know. It's just a little bit so exciting to film. I love filming them ones.
Well, it is. It's cool that you don't even know what it is when you're filming it. You're seeing it for the first time on camera.
Yeah, because I make sure I save it and I make sure I film my initial reaction on camera. Otherwise, I think it's just like really false if you don't. So.
Yeah, good point. I'm getting shelves put in my office in a few months, and there's like this top row that I'm actually been shopping around, thinking that I'm gonna get some pops for there. There's a Daryl one that from The Walking Dead that I want to incorporate in my office somehow.
That's exactly what I do. I have them all lined on top of my bookshelves, and they're all stacked. It's
Yeah,
exactly how I have them.
it adds fun to the
Yeah,
environment.
that's cool.
They're so cute too with those eyes.
Yeah.
So, as a reader, are there certain things that like certain aspects in the story that like when it happens you're like, okay, this book is awesome, or I'm really frustrated with this book? Like basically like pet peeves or like certain buttons where you're like, okay, this is in the book, it's going to be good. That was like 4 questions. I apologize.
um, definitely like stuff that I like in books is like maybe apocalyptic. If it's basically something about like the world ending, I'm definitely going to love it. That's just something I just know for a fact I'm going to love. Just because with that, I love like The Walking Dead, so like I love that kind of stuff, and anything that's based about apocalyptic in a book, I'm just know I love it. Even with like stuff with powers, I love that kind of stuff just because it's so like not gonna happen in the real world. So I love to get like lost in that kind of stuff in a book, especially with X-Men in the movies. I just love all that kind of stuff with powers, and I just I need to like the main character as well. If I don't like them, I'm not going to want to keep reading because they'll just annoy me too much. Um, what other stuff do I not like? Um, I really don't like as well if like a character comes to a solution too easily, because it's just like that's not realistic. You're not going to just come to the conclusion straight away like that. I don't really know. Like that's when it comes to like not liking a book, there's way less of them compared to the good, because I'm more of like half and half. Like I'm usually like books more than I dislike books. So I usually try to find the goodness in the book and just ignore the bad, unless it's like really bad.
Yeah. I know. I, for the most part, even if like the beginning is hard to like kind of sink my teeth in, I try really hard to like just stay with it because it takes a whole book to kind of, show you what the story is. And recently I read The Raven Boys by
Yes.
Maggie Stephader. And
Yeah.
that's actually a huge example of that, is because like when I first started reading it, I wasn't sure what was going on or what I
Yeah.
was reading, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this is one of the best books I've read. And
Yeah.
have you read that one?
Yeah, I have read that. I had the exact same opinion. Like the first 100 pages, I was like, "What is happening?" And I just pushed through it, and now I love that book.
Have you read any others in the series yet?
No, but I own the second and third one, but I just haven't read them yet.
Yeah, I'm in the same. I started reading the second one. I have the third one, and now that the fourth one is out, I want to chug
Yeah.
through it. I'm actually reading her other series at the moment, Shiver.
Yeah, I've heard of that, but I've heard that that's not as good as the Raven Boys. I've actually heard a lot more negative things about that series.
I have too, and I see there's a lot of similarities to Twilight in it, as far as there's certain aspects where it's just kind of hard to ignore. But her overall, like almost like songwriting, writing style, I really
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
A lot of description. Now, so what would you say are a couple of your favorite books that you've read recently that like stand out to you, like that they belong on your favorites list?
Well, definitely like the last book that I've just finished was All of the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, I think is her last name.
Okay.
And I like that book, I just cannot stop thinking about it right now. Like it made me cry, and I never cry at books unless they really like really hit home. And I've only ever cried at like Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, and I think one other book I can't remember. But this one is just stuck with me so much, and it's like it deals with depression and suicidal thoughts between these two teenagers, and it's actually going to get turned into a movie as well. I believe. I'm not sure when it's coming out though.
I think
And
right. I have the book on my list, but I haven't read it yet. It sounds amazing though.
yeah, oh, it's so good. I don't know why I picked it. I've had it for ages, and I think it's because like Ireland started getting sunny, which never happens, and I just was in the mood to read like contemporary, but I just didn't realize this was going to be like hit me as hard as it did, and I just cannot stop thinking about it. It's so so good.
That's awesome. I maybe I need to bump it up in my list.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's so good.
Do you typically prefer like fantasy over contemporary, or it just depends on what mood you're in? I tend to waffle between the two. I mean, I like when you were talking about like the post-apocalyptic. That's one of my favorite settings for a story, bar none. I mean, I love you can do so much with it as far as like different ways to survive, different causes. The show 100, I'm obsessed with.
Oh yes, I love that too.
Are you all caught up with this season?
No, I'm only on like season two, and I own it, and I just stopped watching it. I do that all the time with TV shows. I just stop, and then eventually I'll start watching it again. I don't know why I do it. It's really frustrating.
I tend to do that too. It takes me a while to get into a show, which is kind of strange. I seem to be more forgiving with books than TV. It's like I can, I maybe it's because I don't know, because I kind of understand like the struggle of writing a book. So it's like I want to give them, and I've never done a television show, so I don't know. I don't have
Yeah,
sympathy there, but no, I tend to, yeah. The
yeah,
Walking Dead took me forever to get into, and then like now I'm obsessed.
yeah. Like The Walking Dead, like I stopped watching season six because I just thought it was like so boring. But then I like when it came back from like its hiatus, my family and friends like had watched it, and they're like, "Kevin, you need to like catch up. Like you just need to." And I was just like, "Okay, okay." So then one day, like one weekend, I just marathoned the like last eight episodes, and now I'm just like, "Why didn't I watch this? Like it's just so good."
But no, definitely you tune back into the 100. It gets crazy.
Yeah, I really need to because my mom and dad like they watch it with me, and they continued watching it after I stopped, and they're like, "Kevin, come on." So I really need to.
So, I remember you saying something about you're going to VidCon.
Yes.
What what is that exactly?
So basically, VidCon is like a YouTube convention. It's kind of like if you know what BookCon is, which I assume you probably might know what it is, and
Yeah.
it's basically like just a convention book for like YouTube creators. So like all of the big people that like make YouTube content, they're all going to be there. They're going to be doing panels. You can do meet and greets with them. And then like there's just going to be ways for you to improve your videos, like stuff about camera quality, lighting, audio, all that kind of stuff. And then like there's going to be people doing meetups and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's just a great way for you to like meet new people and like grow your own channel because you'll make like friends and then they'll subscribe to you and that kind of stuff. Even like with the booktube community, that's because that's getting so big now. It's actually recognized for VidCon, and they actually have a whole section for booktubers. which is really exciting because I'll get to meet like the big booktubers that make videos, and it's just great to see that like the book community is getting recognized as a big YouTube community. So I just think it's a really great way for you to meet like more booktubers and just YouTubers in general.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, that sounds like a great, networking opportunity and just learning different stuff. It helps when you see how other people do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm always like totally. This is I'm working on edits for my first contemporary novel with my editor, and every time I go through the editing process, like while working with an editor, content editor, I'm always like amazed by how much I learn just by different things that they're teaching me.
It's always great to see how someone else does it because then you'll pick up on something that you never realized you have to do or something. Like even when I started college, I met like another friend who does like YouTube videos, not book related ones, but just YouTube videos. And I seen how he edits and like what extra stuff he kind of does. And I just like saw like I'm missing out doing these kind of like intro things or outros, and that I should start using them and how easy it was to actually do it. And I don't know why I wasn't doing it the whole time.
Well, yeah, I think when you're creating something, it's so much inside your own head and kind of what you do. So when you're seeing, you're able to see what somebody else, you're able to just pick up on like, different things.
Yeah.
I really like your intro. It's pretty awesome. It gets you right into the video, but it's fun. It's a fun start.
Yeah, there's so many people that like have asked me, they're like, "What do you actually say?" because you say it so fast, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I just say hello, people to the internet, like that's it." And they're just like, "Oh, I thought you were saying a lot more words than that." I was like, "No, I just say it that fast."
Did you play around with different intros like before like coming to that one, or you tried it and you're like, oh, this one's good, or
I like honestly, like I was in England at the time, and I was doing like a vlog or something, and I just decided I'm gonna put my hand in front of the camera, and just go with my hand, and that's basically what happened. Then I was just like, I should say something when I say that, and I don't even know where "Hello, peoples from the internet" came from. I actually have no idea where that came from. It just came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, I like that. I'm gonna use that, and it was like my first idea, and it just came and it stuck. And people always say it, like my friends and family, they'll just be like, "Oh, well, hello, people's internet," like taking like making fun of it in front of me. But I'm just like, I don't care. You still remember it, so
yeah, job done.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it is. It's super catchy and quick. It's good. I like it. Yeah, when I was trying to do like, I was setting up too many words. I was playing around with the opener, and yeah, some of them were just like really just awkward and uncomfortable. But I finally settled on one. Um, and so when you say you do the live show, you do it with other booktubers.
Yeah, like we when I started making YouTube videos, like obviously we had people that comment on your videos, and then like you follow them on Twitter, you start chatting to them. And then I started like becoming really good friends with this girl named Ilse from Mexico, and we are still like absolutely like best friends. She's like one of my best friends in real life and online, and we're actually going to be meeting each other at VidCon, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, so basically then we just decided that because we did like so many, like we pick a book and just read it together, we were like, why don't we just make a Goodreads group where other people can join, they can join in our read alongs. And we did that with, and we also have it with two other people, my friend David who's in California, and my friend Jen who lives in South Africa. And so our name is World of Words because we all come from different parts of the world, and we just thought because we have all these different time zones, that's like what suited our name. And so basically we choose a book and we'll read that book within the month, and then at the end we'll do a live show where all four of us will just come together and talk about that book, what we thought of it, what we didn't like, what we did like, and then we'll announce what we're going to read for the next month. And basically viewers can come and comment, and they can say what they thought of the book with us, or if they agreed, they can ask us questions about it. And that's basically it. It's just a really, really fun way for us to like have a chat and meet, like catch up with each other every month as well. And it's just a lot of fun.
It's also like a really good example as far as like how technology has changed relationships. I was reading an article the other day about how, this article in particular was kind of negatively skewing where how technology has changed relationships because everybody kind of puts on this package or pretense. But the other side of it, and it's huge, is that there's basically all these gaps that are filled, and people with, Worlds of Warcraft or, booktubing are able to connect from all over the world and share their interests. In a lot of ways, it's a lot less isolating when you have, depending on what your interest is, you're able to connect with others with
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Because like with me, I have no friends in my like real life that do a lot of reading. I have like one or two, but with doing booktube, I have like all of my subscribers that I can go talk about a book with, and they'll all share their opinions with it with me. So I have just so many people to reach out to. But in real life, I have like one or two, and they might even read the book or even heard of it. So with like booktubing, I just have way more opportunities to like talk to someone about it. Because when you finish a good book, you just need to talk to someone, and this way you just always find someone who can like relate with you.
I know it's like there's a couple when you close it and you're like, what? That was so crazy. We were liars. I don't know if you read that.
Yeah, I have.
That book blew my mind, and when I closed it, I was like, there's so much that I need to talk about with somebody.
Yeah, I was the same because like the twist, I was just like, what is happening? And I'm pretty sure I found someone. I don't even know who it was, but I know I talked to someone about it, and they were just like, I'm the same. Don't worry, we have the same thoughts. And I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah, no, I was telling people like you have to read this book because I have to talk to you about it. This was a couple years ago, I guess, but yeah. Oh, yeah, that's still one of my favorites, and I think it's just because I was scratching my head for so long during it.
Yeah, it's such a good book. I actually have another book by her, but I haven't read it yet.
What is it?
I think it's called The Disruptable History of Frankie Landau Banks. I couldn't tell you what it's about because I honestly can't remember.
So I've read actually everything that she's written, and
Oh,
uh,
uh,
uh, yeah, E. Lockhart. I'm a big fan. That one is really, really good. That's like right up. I would say it's in her top three as far as like really good books she's written. She has a pretty wide style range. Like some of her earlier books are very, very different than her more recent ones.
yeah. Well, I'll probably boost it up then because I have it. I've owned it for so long. I just haven't gotten around to reading it. So, and I've always like I've really wanted to because I just really liked We Were Liars. So I wanted to read more by her.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite of hers is We Were the Liars or We Were Liars. I know you must have. So I have a crazy like to read list, and I always add to it. So it like is always like I don't I don't know that I'll ever like read all the books that I want to read. I wish I
Yeah.
had like I don't know if you've ever watched. It's a older show, Charmed, but they're like sister witches. But there was one episode where this one witch got a power where she could just put her hands over the book and get like everything that's in the book in her head.
Oh my God.
And I totally want that power.
Yeah, same. You could read everything then.
Yeah, exactly. And then like retain it all and be like a trivia superhero.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So, one thing that I noticed is that you have uh, the same formats that you'll revisit monthly, like the monthly wrap up or document your life. Is that like how did that come to be?
Um, well, that exact like format just happened, I think like early or late last year because I just started getting to my actual schedule and stuff. And I just see that like a lot of other booktubers, they do they'll do their monthly wrap up. They'll do their like maybe a TBR of what they're going to read for the month. But honestly, I can't do that because I never know what I'm going to read. And they'll do like reviews, like 3 or 4 maybe a month, and just stuff like that. And I just realized then that I needed to have a structure like that so that people would know, oh, this video is going to be coming soon because it's the end of the month, so I should be looking out for this one and stuff like that. And then my documentary life, I just do that every month just because it's kind of like a diary, because in like years to come I could just watch them all back and see what I did that month. And yeah, so that's
I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're time capsuling each month. That's
yeah.
To the VidCon and the fact that you're going to be meeting your friend for the first time in person. Is that going to be a show that you put together for your channel?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna be like vlogging my whole trip, just because of, I don't know, because I'm gonna want to show my friends and family what I did in LA and stuff. And I know that loads of my subscribers have actually said to please make sure you like do a vlog on it, and I'm definitely going to. I know Ilse is also going to do it too. So we're probably like, when we meet each other for the first time, I'll have my camera facing her when I'm running to her, and she'll have her camera facing me when I'm running to her, and it'll just be like this great moment, and we'll all see it all come together. I might ask Ilse for her footage so I can put them like side by side as we're running to each other, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be videoing the whole week because it's just something I know for a fact I'll do, because I really like to do vlogs when I go to like a different country or go on a trip. So
sappy song playing too.
yeah.
Set the mood. Well, so is this the first time you've been to LA, or will it be?
Yeah, it will be my first time. Yeah.
Are you excited? Is that some place that you've like wanted to visit?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like, I always said that I wanted to move to LA because it just seems like the place where like everything happens. But like, maybe that's not just LA, it could happen anywhere else. But for me, I've just had this picture that LA is the place to live. And I honestly don't know if I still think that anymore, because of, I don't know, my opinions keeps changing. But it's just definitely somewhere that I'm going to have to go to at least once. And I have a feeling I'm going to absolutely love it. So I'm probably going to be going again. And I'm just really excited to see if it's like what I imagined and picture it to be.
That's really cool. You'll have to. I'll be curious to hear what you think. Like if it's lived up to your expectations and what you think of it. Where I live now, I live in Seattle. I grew up in northern New Jersey, close to New York City. And growing up, I would think of Seattle and be like, I belong there, or like I'm going to live there. And I ended up actually moving here before ever visiting.
Yeah.
My husband, who was my fiance at the time, we just packed our pickup truck, drove across country, and lived in a boat for a little while. And we've been here 9 years now. But yeah, no, I totally get it when you think of a place and you're like, oh, that place sounds me friendly.
Yeah, it's just somewhere that plays in the back of your mind. And you're just like, I have to go just to see if it's what I expect it to be. And I definitely think it is going to live up to my expectations, just because of how amazing it just looks and everyone says it is. So I'm just so excited.
That's awesome. I think it's going to be a good stretch of videos. I'm definitely be paying attention to hear about your experience at VidCon. So, well, I think that wraps it up. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you. I honestly, this is so much fun because I just loved talking about this kind of stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, me too. I've been having a lot of fun. I mean, and like podcasting is something that I've always wanted. I've wanted to do it for a while. I mean, before podcasting was a thing, it was radio personalities. I wanted to write books and be a radio personality. So I'm learning as I go, but it's fun. It's a fun way to reach out to people.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do podcasting too, but I still just don't know if that's something I'll ever do. Maybe sometime in the future, but not just anytime soon, I don't think.
But technically, you're doing it right now.
Well, yeah.
You can check it off the list. It's done.
Yeah.
So can you tell everybody where to find you?
Yeah, I am Irish Reader on YouTube. I have a Twitter account which is the Irish Reader with a one after it. And basically that's the main places where I am. I upload, as you already said, 2 videos every week on my YouTube channel, and I tweet very often as well on my Twitter account about book related things and just my life in general. So that's the main places where you will find me.
Awesome. So, well, thanks so much, Kevin, and have a great time at the VidCon.
Oh, I will, and you'll definitely see my videos, and I'll definitely let you know in a separate like email or something if it lived up to my expectations.
Oh, please. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, that was fun having Kevin on the show. Be sure to go to YouTube and visit his channel, shout him out, say hi. Thanks for listening. That pretty much does it for tonight. I'll talk to you all next week. Be sure to subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Stop by iTunes, stop by Twitter. Let me know what you think. Follow the show at Too Many Words Pod. Follow me on Twitter at me Beddingfield, and you can follow Elliot Granger and the Clueless Brigade, the podcast, on Twitter at Clueless Brigade. Be sure to tune in. This Friday and Saturday to read and listen to Elliot Granger and the Clueless Brigade, Chapter 7. And I'm super excited to share it with you guys. So definitely tune in. The story is really getting crazy. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.